Hi everyone, this is Kim O'Hara. I am an intuitive book coach with a story inside. And today I am so thrilled to be doing a Facebook Live interview with one of my authors, Linda Horioka. She is incredible, she's amazing, and we've been having a few technical difficulties. You know, sometimes for people, this is the first time they're doing Facebook Lives, and for me, it's the first time I'm doing it with the horizontal window, and it's driving me nuts. So I want to bring her on first before I do the introduction, because we've been having a few technical difficulties, and I want to make sure before I do my spiel again that we get her on camera. I see her appearing in this little window, blinking. I'll be so excited. I'm always so excited when we succeed at this. I used to make movies for 20 years, you know, like literally rolling film through the camera, and I still continue to have like my greatest moment be when I actually do Facebook Live successfully. And I do it with an author, and I get to speak with the author. And today we're trying it horizontal frame instead of a little box in the corner. So if this works, I'm going to be really excited. I think we got we got it. We're on. I was just telling the viewers that I made movies for 20 years, and yet I get more excited when I can do Facebook Live than anything else. Like, it feels like a huge success to me. I don't know why. The technology is scary. And I was saying for authors, it's really important to get over that fear, so you can make these videos wherever you are, whenever you are, and talk about your books and talk about your products. But I have not introduced you yet, so I'm going to do that right now.
Okay.
This is Linda Horioka. She's an author, and she comes from a small town in Iowa Falls, Iowa, and had no idea she was going to be rising the ranks in one of the top 4 accounting firms and become a partner for 15 years and head the Japanese division, of all things, in automotive. And what I love about Linda the most, and what I've learned about her writing this book, is that she surmounted divorce, death. She's even had a child go through addiction. And no matter what, she never stopped being vigilant at work, and she never stopped having fun. And I think that's really important for women to understand that have really high-powered jobs, or anybody, frankly, to have fun, because life is really, really too short. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing good. You ready to answer some questions?
Sure, I'm ready to answer some questions.
So tell everybody why you wrote this book.
Okay, well, I wrote this book because I think it's important that people understand my story. I came from very humble beginnings, and I never said no to anything. I was very positive about everything, and I have such great opportunities. When I made partner, there was only 9% women in public accounting that were partners. So I think it's important for women to know that even though, you know, I went to school for free, I didn't have money to go to school, that I took that opportunity and I made it, and I learned about different cultures, and I did always have fun, and I did it my way. I always say I was a cheerleader turned introvert, not the introvert turned extrovert. So
right.
That's some of the reasons.
And you have mantras through your book that are amazing, that just kind of came out while you were writing. We sort of started to discover them, and we started to call them Linda's mantras, because they were these really valuable tidbits about how to get through life and not really let it get you down, you know?
Right.
And I really valued those, and I think those will be valuable.
Right. I think one of my favorite mantras is just that, you know, if you're listening, you're not learning. I think it's very important. So many people want to take the stage and talk all the time. And
you mean if you're listening, you are learning. If you're not listening, you're not learning. Right.
Correct. Exactly. That was one of my favorites.
So shut your mouth and listen a little bit, right? And you might learn something, right?
Exactly.
It's so true. And women feel like we always have to talk, and we don't. We could listen.
Right.
Like that mantra.
Exactly.
So you had this story, and you wanted to write it, and you felt like it was valuable. And now I want to talk to you about the drafts you've done. You've done 3 drafts.
Correct.
What was the difference between the first draft and the third draft?
There was an amazing difference between the first and the third draft. So I come from a business profession, obviously. So I'm a business writer. So first of all, when I took on writing a book, first of all, I didn't really want to write a book. I was going to hire a ghostwriter, and that didn't work out because I realized that nobody can tell your story in your words. You really have to tell it yourself. And so when we went through the first draft of the book, we did an outline and we started writing, and it was a lot of stories, but nothing connected. And then we went through the second draft, and it started to sound more like a book, but still there was a lot of things that needed to be connected. And you really get to evaluate yourself, and it's very therapeutic writing a book because you look at some parts are very hard to write, and some parts you get a whole different perspective on your life. Then when we went through our third draft, now it sounds like a book. And now I'm going on and doing a book draft. But
Yeah,
so yeah,
exactly.
an amazing experience.
And your writing has just escalated. You've been an excellent student from the first draft, always willing, never, I'm not like a slave driving coach, obviously. I'm pretty gentle. But I do want my authors to write books that'll actually get published. So we do have a standard that needs to be met. And I think there were a couple times that I just said to you, I love that story. It's so good. I'm so glad you wrote it.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to end up in the finished book. And you were great. You were like, I get it. I get it. You're like, I get it. But how about if we tell this story instead? And I'm like, oh, that's a great story. So there's always this like compromise, which I think is the way editors work with writers too, is that compromise.
Right. Well, one of my favorite stories when Kim like read something, and there were some cases too where if I couldn't get the description out, she said, this might not go in the book, but I want you to write how you felt in that situation. And then from that, I would get an idea how to put that in the book. But she said to me, she goes, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I felt like you just captured me and made me sit down and go through your photo album like one of your vacations. And I said, that's okay. I get it. So
Oh my God.
we took that out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I did say that. Well, sometimes you just have to lay it out. And I think you're at the end of the day, you want a book that really gets to the essence of your message. Because we have messages as women who have lived these powerful lives.
Right. Right. I think another important message in my book is just how important my friends have been throughout my entire life, from my Iowa friends
Yeah.
to my friends from Redondo Beach and Newport Beach friends. I mean, I've kept my friends, and I have amazing friends that support me through anything that I do.
You
So,
do. You have an incredible, but I think that's a testament to you and what kind of friend you are.
right. But I've been very blessed with great friends. Yeah.
I think you're a good friend, and that shows in the book. You have one particular friend in the book that is challenging, and you stick with her through thick and thin, where a lot of people would have walked. And I think that's how you did everything in your life, and it didn't ruin you. You're having a great retirement. Should we call it retirement? Are you in retirement now? You're
Right.
exploring the next chapter.
Right, right. Well, and even writing the book, I love new challenges and new opportunities. And this is something completely out of my comfort zone. So I think it shows that
Right.
women should get outside of their comfort zone because I, from the very beginning, said, I'm never going to write a book. I can never write a book. I can't do this. And I did it. So I think that
That's
women should,
true.
you know, like my girlfriend used to say, spit on the ceiling. Whenever you say you can't do something, you're not going to, you do it. So
And Linda chimed in and said, I love hearing about books that inspire. So thank you for that comment, Linda. It is a very inspiring book. I was inspired all the time. I took Linda's business advice every week. She doesn't know. I've already benefited from her book so many times. So many women will. What advice would you give to a first-time writer? I mean, you're really quintessentially a first-time writer because you just said it. Like, you didn't even want to write a book. What advice would you give them?
Um, I would say you have to be committed to it. You have to, like, I put it on my calendar and blocked out time and made it and scheduled to do it. So you have to be committed to it. and you have to meet your deadlines, and you have to want to do it. You have to have the passion to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there was every Monday I would tell my friends I can't do anything because I'm writing, and people need to fit it in their schedule. But I needed to block out that time because I'm a spontaneous person. I love to have fun. So I get invited to do fun stuff. I'm like, no, I got to write, and that's what I did.
And there was that commitment, right? Because you had to deliver a chapter every single week to me.
Right.
So there was that sort of iron in the fire of, it really wasn't negotiable. Like, unless someone had, it was a dire circumstance. You really couldn't call me and just be like, you know what, I didn't really want to write this week. I'm not going to make my coaching call. I'd be like, that's not the program.
Right. Right.
That's not how we do it around here.
Right. And I never did do that. I mean, I had to have it within 48 hours before the deadline, and I did it. And I might say, hey, I have a little issue with this piece of it or that piece of it, but I made sure that I met my deadlines.
You did. You always met your deadlines. And I think that's really important, accountability. So what was the most challenging part about writing the book?
I think there was some challenging times because I don't want to give it all away, but I did lose somebody very close to me. I've lost a couple people very close to me, and writing about that and remembering that, it was hard.
That was emotional.
Yeah, I mean, we had some calls that were a little bit emotional, when I had to dig into those feelings and those emotions. But again, I think it was very therapeutic, and you learn so much about yourself writing a book.
So much about what you give and what you take and why certain people are in your life. And
right. And I think one thing that was interesting too is when the whole process started, Kim had me write down, she had a bunch of questions and I answered the questions. And, then she did the outline and she said, what I see the most about you is that, friends and having fun are so important to you. And that came through without me even telling her. So I think, write about what's important.
Exactly. And that's what I talk about a lot is writers will come to me and say, this is the book I want to write. And I'll say, well, let's just do the 5-hour outline day. And, I see blind spots and I see things that you don't see. And they go, okay. And then like midway through the outline, I'll start to go, have you noticed or perhaps have you seen? And they'll be like, no, because you can't see your own stuff. You just can't. It's so hard, to see your own stuff. And it's not therapy. I mean, I guess it could be like kind of a little bit of book therapy, but it's writing a book. We're getting it all out there. You mentioned you didn't realize how much you'd done in your life. I thought that had an impact on me when you said that to me recently. You said, I didn't even realize how much I've done. And how is that affecting you going forward?
Just I want to do more. I think
you've seen how much you can do.
Yeah, I've seen how much I can do. So I'm part of the book. I mean, I've been gorilla trekking, hang gliding. I've done a lot of amazing things, and I don't want to stop. I mean, I always say the next 40 years are going to be just as amazing. I'm always Absolutely. The one that if somebody says, "Hey, are you available?" I'm like, "Sure, let's do it. Let's try it."
Right. So people that are entering some kind of retirement or a change in life, writing a book can help them really see what they've done and maybe give them that extra jump so they don't fall back into that, well, in my 50s, I'm in my 60s, I'm on the decline. It's like, no, this is the time we know everything we need to know now, especially as women. Like, we could just rock. We could do anything we want to do.
Right.
And I guess.
Yeah, I wonder how I had time to work, actually. Now. I'm like, wow, how did I fit work?
Well, we know you fit it into every crevice of every moment, which is part of your amazing multitasking skills that you could find and you did so much. Let me talk about this with like no computers, no cell phones. And I can relate because I used to make movies with like fax machines. Like people would say they were going to show up. They just show up on set. You're like, great. Now people are like so flaky. Anyway, that's a whole other step. So what's the next step with the book? That's what we'll wrap up with. Give the viewers, and someone actually commented, another Lisa Capuque, said she didn't know that you had even written a book. So this is the process of getting it out there for you, of telling people, of starting to, everywhere you go, say I'm an author. So let everybody know, and you're getting a couple thumbs up from Randy and Teresa. What's the next step with the book?
So right now, so Kim and I work together on 3 drafts, and I've hired actually an independent editor to do redline and editing to go through the sentences, and then also provide some comments on content. So after the 4th draft, then I've got to kind of see. Then I got to start pitching it and decide, finding a publisher and an agent and making sure who my market is, and those are the next steps. I mean, I think I haven't done it like some people have done it, but I think Kim had tried to encourage me to get out there and do a little bit more PR during the process. But I just didn't feel comfortable with that at that point. But now I don't really have a timeline to get it published. So now the next step is really, looking into that. And I have a real good friend, Linda, here, who's the Linda that commented, that actually has written a couple books and is helping me.
Excellent. You have to have a community. You have to have people that can tell you what to look out for and what to do. And I'm sure she's done book proposals, and that's really important because agents and publishers, they're just getting so much material these days. You have to do that proposal. Just so if they're interested on your query letter, you can be real. You can be like, yep, I'm ready. Because a lot of people are like, oh, they'll just read my manuscript because it's so amazing.
Right.
There's a lot of amazing manuscripts.
Right. After the 4th draft that we're going to do, then Kim and I are going to work on the proposal together. Yeah. Right.
Well, it's been an amazing journey, and it's not over because now we know each other, and I look forward to following the whole path to the book release party, to the first time we see it on the shelf or Amazon or wherever it's going to end up. And you've done an incredible amount of work, and you should be proud of yourself. It's a huge accomplishment.
Well, thanks. I think
Thank you.
I could get on Facebook.
Like I said, this is like always my greatest victory. The fact that we've done split screen horizontal and I'm not upside down, I'm like over the moon right now. Like anything else could have just been like, we could have had an earthquake and I would have been like, no, we got on Facebook.
Right, exactly.
Well, you have a great day. You've had some nice people giving good hearts and thumbs up and everything throughout it. And I'm going to post it on Facebook and we'll share it around, and people can come see it also through my website, www.astoryinside.com. I have a YouTube channel, and I post all my author interviews on there for you to watch them later. It's great material. I mean, you just can't get real deal advice than from the raw mouths of the authors that are right in the middle of it. So I hope everybody has a great day.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Bye.